are new to TikTok and open up the app, it is very likely for you to find a video which tells you which side of TikTok you are on. These sides of TikTok refer to the kinds of videos that end up on your For You page. They are perceived communities around shared interests, aesthetics, and identities. Some of these communities overlap, such as gay TikTok and D&D TikTok. That's what I'm here to talk about today. Why are LGBT plus people so drawn to this storytelling game, and why is it so easy for this to be expressed on the platform of TikTok? Baby, bye, bye, bye. Gay TikTok, of course, refers to all LGBT plus identities, but I will be using the general gay throughout this video unless a specific identity is referenced for simplicity, and because that's the name the majority of TikTok users have chosen. D&D TikTok refers to the popular tabletop role-playing game Dungeons & Dragons, created in 1974 by Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson. As the game got popular in the 80s, worried parents believed D&D promoted occultism and suicide by encouraging players to imagine themselves as magical creatures casting spells. However, by the 2014 publishing of a 5th edition of the game, those fears have long since vanished. Popular podcasts such as Critical Role and The Adventure Zone helped normalize playing the game, as well as new rules which favored storytelling over complicated mechanics. Most importantly, for this analysis, the rules of 5th edition D&D explicitly state you don't need to be confined to binary notions of sex and gender, and your character's sexual orientation is for you to decide, which has been pointed out by TikTok creator Cartoon Rewrite. As this Polygon article explains, D&D isn't the first pen and paper game to promote inclusivity, but it is encouraging that a game as mainstream as D&D is now taking the inclusive approach. These inclusive rules encouraged many new players to join Dungeons & Dragons, including many players on TikTok. The types of videos that end up on gay D&D TikTok include trans game masters being able to do amazing character voices, game masters commenting on the silly names their gay players come up with, gay players calling characters with low constitution stats twinks, and of course, gay players thirsting over hot villains and supporting characters. Videos also feature gay D&D characters, sometimes with creators in costumes as their various characters performing scenes to audio, or characters are featured in story times, where players and DMs tell stories about their games. The gender and sexuality of these characters aren't the focus of these videos, but having an underrepresented identity clearly stated can be incredible representation for viewers. More often than not, players who are gay also play gay characters, but sometimes players who identify as cisgender or heterosexual realize they are gay after playing a gay character. Oh! Matt Lust and Dennis Waskell's 2004 study of D&D players reveals that D&D is a game that exists in the unique interstice between persona, player, and person. Although players try to keep their reactions separate from their characters' reactions, those boundaries are easily blurred. The study also explains how role-playing games are an extension of the social roles and statuses performed in everyday life. Gender and sexuality are among the roles performed, and D&D allows for players to perform new and different gender and sexualities in a safe environment. I'll admit, I chose this topic because I myself am pansexual and play Dungeons & Dragons, and I saw gay D&D TikToks on my For You page. However, as I began this research, I found it very difficult to locate a clear gay D&D TikTok community. I searched through popular hashtags such as #D&D, #D&D meme, #Dungeons & Dragons, but even after finding the hashtag #GayD&D, it was video trends that I found and not the collaborative community I was expecting. For all this talk of a side of TikTok, there isn't an actual community that interacts with each other. Rather, there are memes and common video styles that are replicated. Two of these common trends involve popular races and classes of D&D. In the game, race is the kind of creature you play, such as human, elf, or dwarf, while class is the role that you play in the party, such as ranger, wizard, or cleric. The tiefling race has become a popular signifier of being a gay D&D player. Although I don't know the exact origin of this meme, I have an educated guess. As the creator St. Cassie points out, The lore of tieflings include virtue names, where young tieflings pick names that represent a concept important to them, which is very reminiscent of how trans and non-binary people feel about names and identity. Other popular races for gay players are half-orcs and half-elves. Creator Mikado214 points out that the themes of identity for the changeling race are also perfect for non-binary players. The creator Thoticus has a video pointing out that although many players love these races that I've mentioned, they personally don't see their favorite races represented. Stereotypes might make good memes, but they don't represent everyone's passions. Another popular meme is the horny bard. Bards are a D&D class that cast magic with their high charisma, which has become equated with sexuality. Or, as creator Dumbminatrix Wu puts it,
the inherent homoeroticism of bards is undeniable.
Videos depict bards eager to have sex with anyone and anything, dragons included. This trend implies that these bards are gay, but that direct identification is often missing from the tags. Still, I found a few gems in the #bard. My favorite is from creator Cool Cryptid, who plays with the expectations of the typical male horny bard.
Come again? Her honkers. Oh, her bazongers. Bading. I don't see how that's... How big are they? A modest C. You're gonna roll the fucker, aren't you? I'm gonna roll the fucker, yeah.
Popular D&D creator Offbeat Outlaw indicates that this stereotype is specific to TikTok through text and tags. Despite bards being a well-loved class already, the D&D TikTok community has characterized bards in a specific new way. Despite the horny bard being a gay-coded trope, there are also LGBT+ critiques of this trend. Specifically, they come from asexual and aromantic individuals who play D&D, even as bards. The creator Orange Lad has a great series of videos about an asexual bard who is only interested in friendship. There are also videos from DMs who suggest making villains asexual and aromantic to keep horny bards from using seduction as their only move. It is refreshing to see ace and era representation, which is one of the most underrepresented of the LGBT+ identities in gay D&D TikTok. I once again ask the question, how do gay D&D TikTokers organize? While the entirety of LGBT identities should not be based around activism, I still expected to find activism in a large marginalized community, and I did find among the tags many amazing videos of gay creators giving advice on how to incorporate complex themes into narratives and how to keep fun while having safe. There are also creators who use LGBT+ tags to talk about the racism of D&D and other important criticism. While not directly related to LGBT+ issues, it shows that this activism is intersectional. However, a brief scroll through the popular D&D hashtags still show mostly white faces. The TikTok algorithm prioritizes this content. There's still work to do. On the surface, TikTok is accessible to everyone. Anyone can pick up their phone, pick a sound, and start recording. It makes it easy for underrepresented voices to be heard. But it is harder to build a community. TikTok is a content-producing app, not a network site. Other spaces need to be built or changes need to be made to make a community where everyone has an equal opportunity to be heard. Still, it is heartening to open up my app at the end of the day and see small gay D&D creators out here vibing, having a good time, and telling stories. And really, that's what D&D is about.